Hi, welcome to the Gemara on Chaf Amud Bet. We're starting immediately following the Mishnah. The Gemara begins with the question, Minalan, from where do we know this? Meaning the Gemara is asking about the very beginning of the Mishnah, which mentions specifically that the whole day is an appropriate time to read Megillah. So from where do we know this? De Amar Kra, V'hayamim ha'ela nizkarim v'na'asim. Because the pasuk says these days are mentioned and observed and done. We've seen that quote from Megillah before. It mentions specifically Yamim there, so that's how we know. The Kriyata Halal, and the implicit question is, how do we know that the whole day is kosher for reciting Halal? Tichtiv mimizrach shemesh ad mevoah, which clearly implies the day from the time the sun rises until it sets. Rabbi Yossi Omer, Zehayom Asa Hashem. So another quote from Tehillim, also from Halal. Both quotes are from Halal. This is the day that God made, so again, a reference to daytime. Ulenatilat lulav, and with regards to shaking the lulav, which again, the implicit question is why do it during the day? Tichtiv ulekachtem lachem b'yom harishon. Speaking about lulav, you should take it for yourself on the first day. Again, we have the word yom, and that, the Gemara is saying, implies that it has to be during the day. Uletkiyat shofar, and regarding blowing shofar, dichtiv yom trua yelachem. The pasuk says it will be a day of trua for you, so clearly that means during the day. Ula musafin, and for musaf offerings, additional offerings, dichtiv dvar yom biyomo. The pasuk there says, each day you have to do this. You have to do each day's thing in its time. So again, the word yom. Uletfilata musafin, and with regard to the musaf prayers, kemusafin shavyu harabanan. The rabbis equated it with the musaf offering, so it sort of follows the pattern of the musaf offering. The musaf offering is during the day, so too the musaf prayers. Ulevidui parim, and for the admission or the confession recited over bulls. We've discussed this already. There's two cases, that of the Kohen and the Parhelam Devar Shel Tzibor, two different sacrifices. In both cases, you're admitting a mistake over a bull as part of a korban process. Diyalif kapara kapara, because we learn out kapara, the word kapara or atonement in one place and the word kapara in another place, mi Yom HaKippurim, from the model of Yom HaKippurim. Titania, as we learned in the Braita, Tanya Gabi Yom HaKippurim, as we learned in the Braita regarding Yom Kippur, the Kiper Ba'ado Ba'ad Beito. This is a reference to the Kohen, atones for himself and for his household. B'kaparat dvarim ha'katuv medaber. The pasuk is talking about kaparat dvarim, about a verbal atonement, right? The way that this atonement is achieved is through verbal confession. V'kapara b'yamamahu, and in addition to this being verbal, the Gemara now adds to the Braita, kapara is done during the day, dichtiv b'yom hazeh yichaper lechem, because the pasuk says on that day you will achieve atonement. God will atone for you. So the fact that we have kapara happening, and the Braita tells us that it's a reference to verbal kapara, so exactly the same kind of thing as the vidui parim. And then this pasuk proves that when is it possible for kapara, even the verbal kapara, to take place? That's during the day, because it says bayom hazeh. Okay, moving on to the next case, vidui maaser, the admission or the confession that you've taken all the maserot out of your house, you've fully tithed. Tichtiv v'amarta lifnei Hashem elokecha bi'arti hakodesh min habayit. Because it says you should say before God, I've removed everything that is kodesh from my house. I've given away all the tithes. The samichle, and it juxtaposes to this, or right next to it is Hayom hazeh Hashem lokecha mitzavcha. God commands you on this day. So again, we have a reference today, which is close enough to the reference to vidui maser. L'smicha u'shchita, the next cases, leaning on a korban and slaughtering the korban. Dichtiv v'samach v'shachat, because it says you lean on it and you slaughter it. Uktiva b'shchita, And so it links smicha and shchita. And then regarding shchita specifically, it says b'yom zivchachem, on the day that you make this offering. So that proves that offering is during the day, so slaughtering must be during the day, and slaughtering and smicha are connected, so both slaughtering and smicha must happen during the day. U'tznufa, and regarding the case of waving parts of an offering, which is a piece of some offering rituals, tichtiv b'yom henivchem ha'omer, because it says on the day that you wave the omer. So that's one of the korbanot that gets waved, and it's again a reference specifically to doing it during the day. Ula hagasha, and with regard to bringing it close, we talked about cases where you have to bring forward parts of a korban, like the meal for the meal offering. So how do we know about that case? T'if kashla t'nufa, because it's connected to t'nufa, to waving, which we just proved has to be done during the day. T'chtiv, as it says in the pasuk, v'lakach hakohen miyad ha'isha minchat haknaot v'hi nif v'hi kriv. It says that the kohen takes the minchat haknaot, the specific mincha offering, from the woman and waves it and then brings it close. And Rashi here tells you the hakrava hi hagasha. Hikriv in this pasuk means hagasha, so it literally means waved it and then brought it close. T'iyaf shar lamar hachakrava hi haktarat hakometz, because this hakrava can't be actually the burning of the handful of meal. The haktiv batre v'kamatz v'hiktir, because right afterwards it says that he scoops the handful and then burns it. So this hikriv here is not the usual offering, right? To do the actual offering is called the hakriv, but just to bring it close, which is the same as hagasha. And then Rashi explains to you, Mahi hagasha, what is hagasha? Megishet hamincha u'megi'ah bekeren maravit romit shel hamizbeach. You bring forward the mincha offering, and it comes to the southwestern corner of the mizbeach, keneged chuda, by the edge, keneged chuda shel keren, by the edge of the corner, v'achar kach kometz, right? And then after that, the scooping and everything else happens. Okay, so that proves hagasha. Ulamilika ulakmitza, and regarding milika, flicking off the head of a bird with a finger, and kmitza, which again is scooping the meal offering. Ula haktara, ula hazaya, and also for haktara and hazaya. Haktara being burning things on the altar, specifically scooping and burning, and hazaya is the sprinkling. Every time you need to sprinkle blood for an offering. Tichtiv b'yom tzivto et b'nei Yisrael, because the pasuk says, this is the pasuk, b'yom tzivto. So again, you see that word day again, and that pasuk is about being commanded to bring korbanot. Rashi, I think, references this here. At b'yom tzivto, on the day when God commanded them, l'hakriv korbanehem, to bring korbanot specifically. And then he talks about how all of these in some way fit into the category of bringing korbanot. Ulahashkayat sota, and what about the case of making the sota drink the special water? Atya Torah. So here we're going to make a connection. We're going to compare the word Torah in one place and the word Torah in another place. K'tiv hacha v'asala hakohen et kol haTorah hazot. Regarding sota, it says the kohen should do this whole Torah to her, meaning all these things. Uktiv hatam api haTorah asher yerucha. Ve'al hamishpat. I have to turn the page. Ma mishpat bayom afkan bayom. So the first pasuk again is talking about the kohen giving doing the whole ritual with the sota, and it uses the word Torah. And the second pasuk is al pi haTorah she'erucha. Again, this word Torah. So in accordance with the Torah that God has taught you, and al hamishpat, and regarding, or for the judgment. So that's also a reference to that same ritual. And the Gemara says ma mishpat bayom afkan bayom. So since there's a reference to this ritual as Torah and as mishpat, so we connect Torah to the Sota ritual, and then we say just as Mishpat has to be done during the day, judgment has to be done during the day, so too here the ritual of Sota has to be done only during the day. And Rashi explains Mishpat Bayom Tichtiv v'haya b'hayom hanchilo et banav, because in Zvarim Chaf Aleph it says b'yom hanchilo et banav, the day that a man grants inheritance to his children. Ora kol haparsha kula liyotin. So then the whole parsha is interpreted as being about judgment. Judgment can only be done during the day, and actually Sota is a form of judgment as well. But we technically learn that from the word Torah that the Sota ritual has to be done during the day. Arifat ha'eglah, moving on to the beheading of the calf, which is done after a murdered body is found. Amri debei Rabbi Yanai, kapara k'tiv ba kekadshim. So it was said in the house of Rabbi Yanai that kapara, atonement, is written regarding it, meaning regarding the Arifat ha'eglah, just like kadshim, just like sacrifices. So just as sacrifices have to be done during the day, so too Arifat ha'eglah. Utarat ha'mitzorah, and purifying a mitzorah. Tichtiv zot tia tarat ha'mitzorah biyom taharato. This is what should be done to the mitzorah on the day that he's purified. So again, we have the word yom. And now we're moving on to the night. Kol halayla kasher l'ktirat ha'omer. De'amar mar k'tira v'sfira bo'layla. We have a source that says that cutting it and counting the omer have to be at night. V'hava'a bayom, and then the korban is brought during the day. L'hekter chalavim ve'varim. And when it comes to burning the fats and the limbs, tichtiv, as it says in the pasuk, kol halayla ad haboker. So it actually says that in the pasuk that has to be done all night, and that it can be done all night up until the morning. Okay, we'll stop here.